Good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to go over real quick, it shouldn't take too long. I wanted to go over different ways that you know that you have some sort of a witchcraft on you that was placed by the narcissist. And this would determine if you have most of these signs that you're dealing with somebody that, or a narcissist, of course, right? That's what we're talking about, that has put witchcraft on you, as far as like what they would call like sex spells and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna go over this. So I've just done a little research about this, but I've also dealt with some of these things myself at one point in time in my life. And so I do know that if they get your vibration low enough, if they're able to get you to trust them, to love them, and you allow them in, especially as quickly as we do because they work so fast, and then as we are still unawoke, let them devalue us to a point to where their vibration is elevating above ours, and then that's when this witchcraft type stuff can really affect you. Again, you know, you do reap what you do, of course, reap what you sow. I mean, I think a lot of times when we think the narcissist doesn't reap what they sow, sometimes I think what it is they do reap what they sow every day. But I think where it really hits them the hardest is if they do lose their soul at the end of their life, man. That's really huge. I mean, it's really huge in a bad way for them, but it is what it is, because there is a penalty to pay for all of this deceit. Okay, and we all want grace. So I'm not saying anything outside of, you know, I'm saying like we all need grace. I want grace. I want God to be light on me, if he will. But so I'm not going hard on the narcissist, but they kind of go hard on themselves. I mean, they are going to get hard punishment, is what I'm getting at, and they usually die alone. And there's nothing worse when you're reaping for what you've sown. When, you know, you've had it happen to you before, I'm sure, where you think that it's never going to come hit you. We've all done things, right? And then it comes when you least expect it, and it is so hard, it's devastating and destructive and destroys you. And maybe it just happened in one part of our life, but this right with the narcissist, I believe at the end of their life, they really find out how destructive they have been, and it hits them all at once. And even if it doesn't hit them here, it's going to hit them in by the time they have to be judged, in my humble opinion. So let's get on with this. So I did go into a few things, but I wanted to go over, there's 12 things that I wanted to go over that are related to sex magic and witchcraft and like rooting and things like people put on you, because these narcissists are witches and warlocks, and I believe they embody them because of the dark energy. They just are it. They don't have to be taught witchcraft. If you follow a witchcraft book, and I'm not into this, you know, but you have to look into some of these things on the outer edge of it so that you can understand what you're dealing with. When you start to realize that witchcraft is actually opposite of humanity, and that's exactly what the narcissist is. And they weren't taught this because they're dealing with energy attached to them that is negative. And witchcraft, the books of witchcraft came right from these dark energy entities. So you're just dealing with, they were in tune with it as soon as those entities took over. You can call what you want, man. They did go down certain constructs, but they were led down those ways, I think, in the spirit realm. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is, you know, nobody had to teach them, or they taught themselves. We could just say that. They went down the construct long enough to where they taught themselves what they call witchcraft today. And then they actually get into dark arts on top of it and learn spelling. Okay, so there's 12 things that would help you understand that you've been under some sort of witchcraft attack. And the first thing is under, you know, sex magic or whatever. And there's something about that. If you want, I can go into that. But it's when you're constantly thinking about them, right? So you're thinking about them all the time. This would be the rumination, right? You can never get them off your mind. And we're talking about if you break up with them today, you will have them on your mind for a year. straight, man. If you went no contact, or 9 months to a year, it just depends. If you go no contact, it can be all the way up to 18 months at the max from no contact. But we all know that's a difficult thing to go through. But that's why we always say no contact, because as soon as you start talking to the narcissist, if you've been ruminating, once you're past the rumination and you've gotten on with life and you've healed your brain and slowed things down, and you've got your endocrine system right, and you've learned this narcissism to a pretty good amount, and you've built up your boundaries, if they come at you, you just won't be even a lot of time. I mean, in my humble opinion, you won't have desire for them, because you're kind of over this whole thing now. It's like you've defeated this section of the enemy. Is going to be, he'll have to come at you somewhere else probably. So you're thinking about him all the time. Number two, that the energy of them is like, it's like they're attached to you. That's why they talk about the courting. Like they don't love you, but they court up to you, plug into you, and they link up to you. And they can leave you because they're not loving you, but they can leave you for a time, but they have to come back because they have abandonment issues. So it's like they have to come back because of the abandonment, but it's also like to strengthen those cords again. And so what I'm saying is they can feel your energy and you can feel theirs. And I have dealt with this. And you start to see also faces. I mean, like people that look like them, meaning like I saw it all the time. Mine had a distinct face. I mean, you know, from another country and everything. So she had, you know, different features that are not normal in America, you know, because they have, you know, different bone structures when you're outside the country, you know. They're more, you know, authentically, you know, to a region. But anyway, I would see people, you know, on a weekly basis, like one or two people's faces in a crowd of people, and I would think it was actually her, and then it would sometimes disappear into a crowd of people or something, and it would like play tricks on me, like, because I've heard people say this before, but I have dealt with that, and then it wouldn't be her. I don't know. It's like witchcraft, though. I think it probably had something to do with her, but it's almost like you can feel their energy and they're not even in your presence. So it's kind of interesting. So the next one would be that you feel like you could read their mind, or they could read yours, and you could like almost like telepathically have a conversation or something. I don't know. It's weird. I could feel sometimes if I was in the same area as she was from time to time, or if she was in she was in the same building or something. I don't know. It's weird. The next one would be if they show up in your dreams and you have conversations, or that would maybe be related to astral projection. I've never had that happen, but I don't really dream much. But anyway, the next one will be you may feel sad or increasingly drained. See, because you're corded up to them, they don't really have to be with you to draw energy, fuel off of you. And that's why sometimes when you're reaping what you're sowing, even when you break up with them, you still reap some of their negative harvest from time to time for a time, because you got to continue to disconnect and unhook those cords that fuel those plugs. You got to unplug from them. And that's why that rumination comes off slowly, because you're plugged up to them. And so you got to continue to like stay away from them. So as you stay away from them, it's like you're a capacitor. It's like you've been hit with a bunch of, say, electricity, and then you're storing it, and it's their electricity. And so you're kind of stuck in their vibration. It's because you soaked it up, and they threw it all on you because they don't want their vibration. They want yours, and that's what they take. And so then you're a capacitor stores energy. And so a capacitor doesn't even have to be plugged in, but if it's charged up and you touch it, it'll shock the crap out of you. And anybody knows that's dealing with electricity. But my point is that's what you are. And to get rid of that energy is if you're unplugged from them, it's going to slowly disperse off of you. And that's why you get rumination, in my humble opinion. It's that energy, and you have to get rid of it. And it takes forever for you to drain that energy off. And then you got to heal your endocrine system, and your mind's got to heal and slow down. Okay, next is going to be you only want them. I mean, you know they're increasingly toxic. They're bad for you, horrible, but that's all you want. You just want them. you're willing, next is number 8, you're willing to give them everything and anything. And you know that this is a bad idea, that they're toxic and that they would take everything and destroy you, but you're still willing to do it. You just can't help yourself. You love them. Like, let's say if you have another relationship going on and you're sneaking around with them or anything like that, or anything, or if you're dating several people because you're not attached to any one person because you're just kind of like dating right now or something, when it comes to them, you want them more than anybody until you completely detach and you know it's a bad idea. Number 10, you have no value, and it's like you don't know what to, there's nothing you can do about it because you want them so bad that you're devaluing yourself all day long, every day, just by saying and feeling the way you do, like these things I just mentioned. You feel like you only want them, you'll do anything for them, and it's like you have no value. You're sad and you're drained because they're corded up to you and they're pulling fuel off you. You know they're the worst enemy in your life, but you still want them. And it's like, it's basically, that's where you are an addict at that moment in time, at that time period. It's very shameful because you are basically a heroin addict, like they say. It's as addicting as heroin. It operates similar to when you're in the trauma bond. That's why you have no value, but you still want them, because you are such a crack fiend for the narcissist that you just want another hit. It's horrible. And then next thing is you're obsessed. You're obsessed with them, meaning, you know, you're thinking about them all the time, just like the rumination, but you're also wondering different things. It's not like you're just thinking about them, but you're also wondering and obsessed with what are they doing now, you know, or you may be looking into their stuff, which you know you shouldn't be. The next thing would be you have sleeping issues. You can't sleep, but you're really tired. You're extremely tired and drained all the time, but you can't sleep. Your endocrine system is running, you know, 10 times as hard, and your whole body and every organism, but you can't get any sleep. And by the time it's time to go do something, like go to work or go anywhere, then you're tired. It's like the opposite of what you need, right? That's how things work. The other thing I wanted to go over is, and this goes with it, but why does the narcissist seem unbothered by the breakup? You know, we always wonder that. They're just walking around like no big deal. All right, well, let's go over that, because there's 6 things related to that kind of fall into this category, or, you know, somewhat, it's still kind of like witchcraft, even if it seems like it's regular old stuff. Okay, so the first one is they seem unbothered because they are corded up to you and they are doing like sex magic on you and thinking about you, meaning they may be having sex with somebody else, but they may be thinking thoughts about you and doing that just to get corded back into you, power over you, and casting spells about you. So these are just different things. And they do this because sex is powerful energy. And so this is when they would be doing these things. I know it's weird, and I don't get into the even learning this stuff, but I'm just going over a broad surface of it. And I don't even like doing this, but it's much needed, because if you want to defeat the enemy, you have to know the way the enemy works. And a lot of this is unbeknownst to us. We, especially living in America, a lot of people don't believe in this stuff, and these people are the embodiment of it. And it's real, especially when they pull you down to the ground, and then they can step on you with this witchcraft and really destroy you. At least if you know some of the signs, you can if you are weak out there, this will help you maybe get more in tune to, like, yo, they're killing me. Okay, so they're corded up to you, so they're still pulling fuel off of you. They're doing this. That's what I'm saying. So even because they're not with you doesn't mean they're not still pulling fuel off you. They don't have to be with you to pull fuel off of you. Number 2, it's been a long time that they've been working on this item number 2 that they were going to switch and move into item place number 1. So basically what I'm saying is their primary source supply, maybe they're not a good primary source supply, but they want something different, man. You know, they are impulsive, and you know, at some point in time, you're going to be devalued too far to where they need to find something more fun. So this is something they've been working on for a while. So they're just going to jump to somebody else. They've been working on it for a long time. You think it's right now, but they don't. They've been planning this for months with this individual behind your back. By the time you get it told to your face, they've been planning the ghosting for a long, long time. Number 3, the new source of supply that they are backing up, you know, for your you know, discard that's going to take your spot. They may have really good fuel, meaning, you know, they're like, you know, the narcissist is always me, 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 me. That's what they're all about. And so with that being said, they're a great distraction. Someone's that's going to give them a bunch of fuel when you're giving them pushback because you can't take it anymore. You're not having it. That's because your fuel is drained, and that's the next one. Your fuel is tapped out. You don't have money. You don't have looks anymore. You don't have fuel. You don't have energy. You're not nice. You're not nothing. I mean, it's easy for them to leave you. Next is, let's see. They turn you into a prostitute, man. They're a prostitute. They're like a legal prostitute, right? They're sleeping with everybody. And then what they will do is turn you into one as well. Because, I mean, they're going to ride around the block and pick you up and drop you off, just like they get picked up and dropped off. And next is, you can't even play. They're playing a great game with you, meaning they're acting, at least they're trying to act, even if they're phony actors. But you ain't even acting. You're calling them up all the time. You're flipping out on them. You're sad. You're crying on the phone, leaving voicemails and stuff. They know they can get you back tomorrow, tonight, in 15 minutes if they want. It's not a discard, y'all. It's a fake one. And that's the other thing. They know it's fake from the jump. They're coming back. But will you take them back because they're just going to destroy you more and harder? You don't want this. Do you want this? You want this to be your spouse, your lover? No. That's building your house on the sand. You're going to have to do it all over again at some point whenever you want to accept that this is what you're dealing with, because the narcissist never changes. And the thing about the narcissist is you want a deep empathic relationship with someone that you can love and understand and grow with. The narcissist only gets relationships so that they could take care of all of the narcissist's needs. They form their relationships based on their needs. I need this, so I'm going to go with this guy because he can do that for me right now. They don't care about if they have to have sex with him or not. It could be either gender. They don't even care. It could be an old man, young man. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter. They have no type. They have fuel. They want fuel. The thing about the super empath, the thing about the good primary source supply is that they're willing to stick it out with them for years and years and years. And that's what they really want. They give them true, true love, true feelings. They kind of legitimize them to some degree, or the best legitimacy they're ever going to get. But they get beat the hell down, and their life is the worst life that they ever could live. And they could live a grand, great life with somebody else if they would just leave the narcissist and heal. But a lot of times they don't. And so for the narcissist, they love that primary source of supply that we say is the grade A, but it's the worst position you could ever be in. If you can give me a like, a thumbs up, and a subscription, I love y'all. And I hope you have a grand, great day and run from the narcissist and live your life, y'all. Peace, we out.